several people who are calling for government to outlaw layoffs around this time because we're all faced with a pandemic. And I'm sure it's because, I mean, there are concerns that if we lay off people right now, what is the guarantee that we're going to call them back when, I mean, post-COVID-19? What do you make of that, I mean, your association?
Well, it is important we recognize that there are several means of discharging obligation under a contract. You either discharge it by performing your duty and obligation, or by agreement by two parties. So for instance, the two parties can agree that at some point in time, an incident can trigger the severance of the agreement. So if you look at, for instance, the Section 15 of the Labour Act, there are grounds for which you can terminate the appointment of an employee. Then we have a breach of the contract. What appears to be the situation now is what under common law they would describe as frustration, the contract being frustrated, or under international business law they will say force majeure. We have to understand whether or not this incident directly have effect for the contract that the two parties have signed. If somebody says that government has to outlaw, or government has to outlaw the termination or declaration of redundancy, it is neither here nor there.
Why?
Because if you look at the position of the labor law, it actually gives the grounds under which you can terminate the appointment of an employee. One of them has to do with the fact that the two parties must agree. One of them has to do with the fact that if the employee feels that he's being sexually harassed, or there is some condition that prevails in the workplace that is unhealthy. Again, so those are the grounds. Some grounds have been provided. If the employee is not actually meeting a certain expectation, it goes through performance procedures to be able to determine whether or not he can perform his job. So the law is actually clear as to what